Hey, what's going on, iReal Estate Pros? This is Dan Noma and of course, our mindset master, Chris Dorris.
What up?
So what we thought we would do today is talk about just a couple topics that certainly hit home for me and Chris, and have been super helpful to those around us as well that have been able to kind of grasp these concepts and really think about them in detail. And I think the first one, Chris, that we talked about today, or we wanted to talk about today, was the power of gratitude. And I think early on when you and I started working together, that was one thing that certainly resonated with me, and I think our community would benefit just from your perspective on gratitude.
Yeah, well, let me back up one step for that, and then we'll come back into that. All right, to just create just a little bit more context for this unique dialogue. Okay, so really, the big picture here of this conversation is we're talking about states. We're talking about the ability to manipulate your states, your emotional states, so that they serve you, so that you maximize the probability of being who you and how you want, doing and performing how and what you want, and having what you want, right? So it's really a short way of saying that is maximizing the probability of success by strengthening your mind, by manipulating your mind, by literally changing your mind. So we're going to talk, gratitude is one of many available emotional states. And when I say available, I want to expand on that for a moment, or elaborate on that. All human states are available to each of us in every moment of our lives. And that is a critical takeaway right there. We have to remember that. And I want to do an experiment, an exercise rather, right now with everyone, you included, to illustrate that. And we've done this before. But I want, please, if you're watching or listening, do this. This is a very powerful exercise, and it's very brief. Think of an event that happened in your life, whether it was distant or recent is not relevant, but what is relevant is that it was tragic to you. Okay, think about, do you have one?
I do. Yep.
All right, and I'm not going to ask you what it is. You don't need to say.
Yep.
That is absolutely irrelevant to this. What's relevant to you is that you let yourself re-experience that right now. Like in your mind's eye, really go back and re-experience as fully as you can that day or that moment, that event. Listen to the language I'm using. Choose in this moment to fill your mind with the content of that tragic memory. Mm-hmm. And as you're doing that, notice the emotion or the state that arises instantly when you do that, when you choose to fill your mind with that unique thought content. Now, we're going to change channels, right? Just like on DirecTV, we're going to change the channel. And now I want you to think of an event that happened in your life that was absolutely hysterical. Something just ridiculously hilarious, and do the same thing, like really re-experience that right now by choosing to fill your mind with that distinct content.
Oh, did we lose you?
In time. There you are.
Hey.
Did I freeze?
I think you froze, but that's okay. Where we froze was when you said to remember that one of the funniest things.
The funny one, yeah. Good. Because then I saw you smile, and then you were frozen with this wonderful smile, frozen in time with a big old shit-eating grin. I'm like, if you're gonna freeze, that's a good way to freeze.
That's a good way to freeze. I love it.
So, all right. So that's perfect. That's a perfect time for it to freeze if it's going to. So we get to create from that. That'll be one of our future conversations, which is we can create from every single set of circumstances if we view it masterfully. So that'll be our next. There's a little preview of coming attractions.
That's
okay.
Right. That's right.
So now describe for me, without saying the events, just describe for me, what was the emotion that arose with the first memory, the tragic event?
Yeah, my stomach got tight. I think I just, I think I even felt the hair standing up on my neck a little bit. Like it was just.
So those are physical responses, right?
Yeah.
And they're immediate. Now tell me, if you can, give me words, names of like a mood or a state that arose that then had that physical reaction.
Sad or
Mm-hmm.
anxious. I think I felt anxious and
Yeah.
probably, you know, almost like leading myself into some kind of depressed state, you know, just
that's amazing, right? So,
well. Yeah.
so you just depressed yourself.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
You just created depression for a moment.
Right.
By thinking your way right into it. This is huge, right? So you have access. If you want depression, you can have it now. You just think your way. Now, then what's the state that arose with the second memory? And you froze.
Yeah, much better. Well, obviously I started laughing and smiling. I instantly thought of one that happened to me yesterday that just cracked me up. But you know, I think I just felt joy, felt just an elevated, you know, it was an elevated state of mind. Joy, happiness, all of that, you know?
Right, levity.
Yeah.
So you went from the low grade state to the high grade state. How long did it take? Think about this. I want everyone to be asking themselves these questions and answering them. How long did it take to switch?
Second.
Yeah. It took, you know what it took? It took exactly as long as you took to change your mind content.
Right. That's it.
That's that. Okay. Yeah. So it's good to know that we have that skill.
Right.
So I can change power. I can dramatically and profoundly alter my state in a moment's time, but only always.
Anytime I want. That's right.
Whenever you damn please, right? So then the question is, oh, okay, well, that's handy. So what are the states that are going to serve me? And in certain times, the answers they'll be different all the time. Right? You know, if I'm giving a presentation, maybe gratitude isn't the most intelligent one for me to create. I don't know. Maybe it is though for you if it works for you.
Right.
But it ain't going to be depression. It ain't going to be nervousness.
Well,
it ain't going to be incompetence. It ain't going to be anxiety.
Yeah. I can tell you that even, you know, since I've been now traveling around the country, and I've told you this, they're traveling around the country talking to groups of agents, right? I don't know what I'm walking into sometimes. I'll walk into a room and there'll be 500 people in the room and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, now I'm talking in front of 500 people.
Yeah.
And I've really used this specifically for that and just saying, look, I mean, I'm grateful for this opportunity to do this. And that serves me because now I'm going, now that reminds me of the fact that like all that work or all the anxiousness it's not worth it. And, you know, I should be grateful that I'm doing this. And, you know, another story of that to that effect is, I think you remember when I shared with you, our friend that won a golf tournament recently.
Yeah.
And, you know,
yes.
he was super anxious.
Nate.
Yeah. Super anxious the day before. And, you know, I shared with him that same exercise and, you know, the idea that, you know, hey man, it's a big deal and you're going to feel some weird stuff, but if you lead with grateful or you know, the gratitude, and be grateful that you're there, then you will change the way that you're thinking about that state, that moment in time.
So let's talk about both of them, okay? Gratitude and the other is enthusiasm. Those happen to be the two of the most powerful states that we can think our way into, right? That serve us, because what they do is they release the smart chemicals in our brain. They instruct. The choice to, this is very purposeful language, the choice to think my way into gratitude and or enthusiasm instructs my brain to release the neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin, which are the on switches for all intelligence centers of the brain. They have me be amazing at everything, whether it's sports, right? Like Nate playing golf, you know, or you speaking on a stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people, right? Or anything.
Right.
Right? Getting stuff done. Gratitude and enthusiasm. So, and another thing that's worth mentioning is that, you know, there is never, ever any shortage whatsoever of sources of gratitude. If you're struggling, it's because you're out of practice. That's period.
Right.
You know, I want to recommend a beautiful video that I use in my presentations all the time on gratitude. So if you just go to YouTube and you search Gratitude HD, like as in high def, Gratitude HD, it's a short film. I think it's 6 minutes long exactly. And it's by the famous short film superstar, Louis Schwartzberg. And it's narrated by this cool Benedictine monk named Brother David Steindl-Rast. He's an Austrian monk. I don't know if he's Benedictine, but he's a monk. And it is spectacular. Gratitude HD. I tell you, Dan, I've watched that video hundreds of times, right? Because I use it in my coaching. You've probably seen it. And I get choked up every time with joy, with gratitude.
Yeah.
Like as I was waiting for the call, you know, the last several days here in Arizona, we've had some pretty cool weather and some amazing clouds. And just as I was waiting for my computer to wake up, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at it right now. These clouds, I'm just going, wow. Wow, like they're spectacular. And here in Arizona, we don't get to see that too much. and I used the clouds, dude.
Yeah.
To think my way into gratitude before this call.
Right.
Because for two reasons. Feels good. It's good enough. You could stop there, but it doesn't stop there. Number two, elevates my state, maximizes the probability. It makes me smarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of put it in the context of what our community is talking about as disruption and these iBuyers and institutions that are coming and flooding. And, you know, you've kind of got two paths you can go, right? I hear agents now all the time, and it's either they're in the state of mind that this is a disruption and it's a problem, and that's how they feel about it. And they start, they like think their way into this, right? Yep. And when I come into the room, you know, obviously anybody new coming in, you know, obviously through coaching with you, my understanding now is to find the opportunity in this and look at it from a different perspective and say, okay, this happened. It just is. That's okay. And now what can I do with this? Like, what can I create from this? What can I create from this?
Thank you for this.
Great opportunity. Yeah.
There's a mantra that I have actually sent it to myself. I have it arrives. You get those texts, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I send them to me too, right? Yeah. I have a system that sends texts out to my clients and myself to remind myself. Yeah. And one of them is, this is the best damn thing that could have happened.
All right.
So it reminds me to go, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You know, scientists say that on average humans complain every 11 seconds. So here's a great practical tool, okay? Really become amazing at catching yourself complaining as fast as you can. Stop it and replace the thinking right there with gratitude for the same thing that you were just complaining about. Yeah. Don't change subjects like you're in traffic and God bless it. There's complaint. And then you just catch yourself, well, at least it's Friday and I'm happy hour tonight. No, that's weak. That's rookie. Don't do that.
Right.
Because you still have a problem with traffic. You want to change your attitude about that. So use the tool, use the emotional or the state of gratitude to strengthen your mind in that moment. And go, I'm thankful for the fact that I have a life that permits me to be where I'm going. I have a car.
Right.
Right? I don't have to use public transportation. Thank you for the people that build it. Thank you, Dan Patrick, for the entertainment right now.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for all the people who worked their asses off to build these amazing roads that I'm on. Thank you. Good. Let's go.
Yeah.
And you totally changed your state. Completely changed your state.
Yeah.
Well, we should do enthusiasm next time. It's a good enough one that I think it deserves its own show.
Okay. So its own topic. Well, I appreciate it, Chris. So I think that'll give the community some insight to how to leverage gratitude, and as they're thinking about disruption and as these people come in. I know that they hear it from me, but it's awesome to hear it from you, because, you know, even when they're hearing it from me, it technically came from you. It's a mindset it's a mindset tool that you've given to me, and so sharing it with my community is I find a ton of value in that. And I think so far we're getting great feedback from everybody that is started to shift the way they think about these things. To give you a story real quick before we let them go, is the other day we have a new iBuyer that jumped into our market called Sunday. And so I was introducing this group into one of my, one of these talks that I was doing. And I could tell, like, when I first said, hey, you know, there's going to be a new disruptor in your market, I could just tell that the state of the room was not good. And they were just like, oh, another one. And then once we got into this and I started to, you know, explain to them where there was opportunity in this and that you know, that this was actually a really good thing. And then once I could see their mindset shifting a little bit. It's awesome the way it works in a room. And by the end of this, they were out, you know, exchanging cards with this gentleman to get involved and learn more about how they could play. And that's really what, you know, we're coaching to is for agents to understand that there's opportunity in all of this disruption and just look for it. And it's really a state of mind. And if you think your way into the negative side of this, that's what you're going to get, negative results.
Yep.
And if
There you go.
think your way into the positive side of this, then that's what will serve you is that. So
Amen, brother.
amen.
Perfectly articulated.
So Chris, remind us, how can we find you? How can our community find more of you?
I appreciate that. Yeah, my website is the perfect spot, ChristopherDorris.com. So if folks want to hop, you know, I have this, I love, one of my newest projects is called The Daily Dose. You know, it's a morning message that comes out at 6 a.m. wherever you are in the world, and you can sign up for it right there on the homepage. So you get a little mental toughness tidbit at 6 a.m. wherever you are, and help you, you know, start the day right, get your head right, win the day.
Yeah, I think it's helped my office for sure. When you introduced me to the book, I bought everybody in my company the book.
Oh, right on. That's cool, man.
And then they also get the emails now too. And so it's funny, they'll have I walk in their offices now and I can see that they have like you, they have papers in there where
that's beautiful.
where
Yeah, you just made my day, babe.
Like so,
that's great. That's beautiful. It's a cool book because you just open it up and you just you know, kind of one of those deals. You just see what it says. Oh wow, I found a typo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have gratitude for that.
Well, I'm glad I helped you find that. Well, I appreciate you again, man. We'll keep at this, and I think the community's finding value. So
beautiful.
I appreciate you.
Amen. Thanks, brother.
All right. Thank you.